It's getting to that time of night where I'm really tired. It's getting close to my bedtime, but I thought I'd continue my thread of thinking, because the cool thing about having a train of thought is there's more. There's always more. So let's talk about my recent sharing of like the lawn man and his ignorance that spawned this point of self-inquiry of why I would be so triggered by a situation like that. And by so triggered, I mean like it's pretty calm compared to like what could be really triggering. Very mellow. I can take these out now. And you know, when I gave that imagery of the being in the maze or the labyrinth and getting that higher vantage point by the being outside the matrix, that the maze that can, you know, steer you in the right direction, or, you know, give you some clues here and there for you to help yourself out of the maze. And that's an analogy for life and being on planet Earth and walking the path of self-mastery up to your ascension. Getting out of the maze is being able to qualify for your ascension, getting out of the labyrinth of Earth and all of the things that trigger you and your perception filters that you have taken on through your many embodiments on the planet. You know, being able to transcend them, hold them, see them for what they are, and see a higher way. That is how you get out. So I was saying, like, you know, at that time I was giving that analysis from that current viewpoint of like, what is this really about? Oh, is it because I feel triggered that somebody's own ignorance can affect me? And it's like, well, it's a little bit deeper than that. It's like people in general, human beings in general, you know, I've had experiences to where it's like them using their free will could put me in harm's way, and has put me in harm's way in the past. Not just in this life, but in previous lifetimes. And so being a victim to that, literally, like falling victim or prey to somebody's own level of consciousness, low level of consciousness, whatever, that, you know, is ignorant to their own, ignorant or not, aware or not of their impact on another being or the world around them, and how that can be very dangerous. Obviously, we live on planet Earth. We all know examples of this. Like, there is warfare, there are crimes that are committed, you know, there's all this stuff. And yes, these things happen. And I think, you know, the part of me that was angry at like this little laughable example that is very universal for so many of us, it was really pointing to this this separate self, this internalized belief, perception that I've yet to totally see and let go of, but give me some time and I will. Because I am a prudent, steadfast, intentional, sincere spiritual seeker and resolver of psychology. Is, you know, when I look at that, you know, I see a part of myself that obviously feels like a victim to those beings, feels like it's unjust. I have a thing about justice, what's right and what's wrong. Hey, I'm looking at the actual camera this time. My last video, I was confused, looking at the wrong green light. And yeah. So there's still a part of me that hasn't totally seen that. Because when you can fully see things and at every different angle, then you can really let it go and transcend it. But until you can see all that you need to see, it kind of stays with you. So, and this is where we can use the authority that we have as beings in embodiment to call forth assistance from these beings that have been there, done that, and have mastery over what it's like to be an embodiment, and have been able to qualify to ascend out of it, to be helpers. Why are they here? Why are they helping us? Why didn't they just leave? Well, when you understand that all life is one, to exile and to abandon parts of yourself isn't really a part of life, you know? Because all life is ever growing, ever flowing. And when you're going against the flow of life, which is about oneness and about expansion and about transcendence, you're going against life itself. And so it really takes tremendous amount of effort to uphold and go against the current. So these beings, it's like their greatest joy to be of service, because they don't actually get anything from us. They don't need anything from us. The only thing that they need is to give of themselves. And we are in need of beings like that, of assistance like that. And so they freely give what they have to offer, which is that vantage point, which is their light, which is their love. And so we ask, like, hey, help me see this. Help me see what I can't see. That's like the golden quote. That's like the ultimate quote. If you could just write that down on your wall, put it on a sticky note, tattoo it on your forehead, that's like the $1 million question to be asking. And that's how you can really see a lot of acceleration in your life and on your journey. If you feel stagnant or stuck, you just ask that question, like, help me see what I can't see. Synod Masters, Synod host, if you feel like you're closer to one or the other, like, help me see what I can't see. Help me see what I can't see about this situation. Help me see what I can't see about this condition. Help me see a higher way. Help me see this so I can let go of it, so I can be in more service to life. Because that's what I want. I'm not here to just continue to focus on, well, it's an interesting thing. It's like there's a part of you that probably is like, I don't want to keep focusing on these issues, these self, issues that keep me trapped in this mode of thinking that I don't want, that kind of keep me from my service to life. Because to a certain point, when you have all this, this stuff that's mucked up in your psychology, that's keeping you from focusing on what you're really here to give in your service to life. Because for a certain part of the path, you have to kind of go through that. There's so much shit to resolve. And then things kind of break through. And it's not like you are scot-free and you don't have to look at yourself anymore. But once you've created a certain momentum in your spiritual growth and your spiritual path, you can still be resolving psychology, but you have a focus on what you're focusing on, and the service that you're meant to give, the things that you're meant to study to support what you're here to give in service to life. And so that's a really good North Star to have. It's how can I be of the greatest service? Well, it's ultimately resolving your psychology so you can become free of the perception filters and the conditions that you've taken on, so you become lighter and lighter, and you give and give more of what you're here to offer. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that little extra little tidbit of information from my experience and what I have gleaned so far, and what I will continue to glean and share as I continue on. Because sharing yourself and sharing how you experience life and how you digested certain things and things that you've been able to overcome, it's a really valuable asset, especially if you've had a hard life. A hard life is an asset. And that's something that I've taken for granted. You know, I took for granted, like, as I was going through my own, like, several, you know, it's like decades, it felt like, of a hard life and going through trials and tribulations. And I realized, oh, it was just preparation. You know, I had to get all of that over with in the beginning of my life so that I can spend the rest of the several decades that I may be able to be embodiment to be of the greatest service that I could be. You know, some people, I mean, it varies for everyone. Everyone has their own individual life plan. And so, you know, you can be in your 60s and finally, like, break through and, you know, and have the rest of your time in embodiment giving great service. And then you have all this, you know, experience to potentially fuel your life's work and your service and your gift to give to the world, because you have all this experience to glean from. And, you know, right now for example, I'm like going to school for social work and to educate myself on the systems that are really important for me to understand in terms of helping people to the greatest extent that I can, and also, like, public speaking, and ultimately, like, being able to help guide people through the process of self-mastery and the psychology of self-awareness, you know, to be able to, like, there's a method, you know. It's not necessarily like a linear process or like any guaranteed fix-it system, self-help kind of 7 steps to freedom, but there is an intuitive, non-linear, very individual process that you can go through, that it is step by step, but it's a process. It's a process. And it's a process of, like, it's an intuitive one, and it's something that you're kind of guided to from one level to the next. And I know that I'm here to help people in that process, and I know I'm going to have probably a pretty big public platform eventually around this, helping, you know, however I'm meant to help, and being a messenger in my own way, and that I'm not totally so clear on yet, because I'm not really concerned about, like, the hows. I mean, I have visions, I can see, and I've had this understanding or conceptual, like, vision before me, but things change and become what they're meant to become. And so I'm not fixated on any type of outcome. I'm not chasing anything. I'm just trying to continue to do what I can to develop mastery over not just myself, but to acquire, you know, mastery over a certain subject and knowledge that I need to have in order to convey these concepts. And so self-development and psychology and these systems that we're affected by and intricately a part of is something that's really intriguing to me. And, you know, current world events are really intriguing to me, and leadership and being able to communicate effectively, and just being able to help people grasp things at a really, I want to say down to earth level, but that is so subjective, because I could feel like this is really down to earth, but I also understand how completely and totally abstract I can sound when I'm communicating about these topics. And so I know that I've come from some pretty extreme psychological conditions. At least that's my subjective opinion. But when I really zoom out, I see that there are so far more intense psychological conditions out there that I didn't, experience in this lifetime. And so I'm here to help a wide variety of people, and I'm excited to see where life takes me, because thankfully I am so young, like barely in my 30s, and I have so much still to go. And so I'm excited to see where it takes me and where this is all going, and all that I'm meant to let go of along the way, all that I can let go of along the way. I wanted to say all that I'm meant to become, but I'm not really becoming anything. I am disrobing so much and revealing my true nature and revealing my true self along the way, and that is like the deepest gift. And like I there are no words to describe the amount of gratitude that I feel to be able to continuously disrobe and let go of all that is not me, to reveal to myself who I truly am along the way, and to be able to share that with the world, and to know that like that is the greatest service that I can give. It's not like, it's just like because that is like self-expression, that is living your Christhood, living and breathing and giving from that place, from your true self. Not like your true personality, not like this aspect of your personality that's like super funny and like charismatic or whatever, like to be an empty vessel for light to pour into, to be an ultimate instrument, to be used for the glory of raising the all. Like that is why I'm here. That's what all of this is about, How can I empty myself more and more, still be in the vessel tube that is summer, but like the thing that fills the tube, or the hollow bone, as some people call it, or, the vessel, what fills me is what I'm able to radiate out as like this, being that is called summer in this life on planet Earth and this time that we're in. But it's really not about me. It's just the light gets to pour through me, through my own container that is these life experiences that I've had, this brain that I have, this way of looking at life that I have, that's always being challenged and altered by the psychology that I've resolved up until this point, and then just radiating out what I have to offer from the light pouring in. And you can too. And you do it every day, in little ways and big ways and all the ways. Just keep walking your path. Keep resolving your shit, and you will get there. Keep asking for more. Keep asking to see what you can't see. Follow the path of self-mastery. Find something, anchor into it, and keep going. And see how far it takes you. I will link the book that I've mentioned, the series that I've mentioned, and I will link my coaching link if you want to be a part of some kind of container to help me, help you, help me, help us raise the all. I will leave it below. And I'm going to bed now, everybody. Well, good night.